We always start with our market update, and what we found really interesting about the market update for, I guess, the first 3 weeks of February right now, is the amount that we've seen increase both in sales and average price from 2023. Calgary is still increasing and increasing and increasing. You might read in the newspapers that Toronto and Vancouver they took a dip at the end of last year, and they're just starting to go back up again a little bit. Calgary didn't see that dip, and we don't believe that we're going to see that dip. If you look at the numbers that I've highlighted there, total sales, this is just for February, we'll do year to date on the next slide, but for February, our total sales are up over 16% as compared to February of 2023. And the average price, if you look at that, again, that's up 16% over February 2023. Those are huge numbers considering Calgary's historical average is 3.5%. So when we see numbers like this, we see a very, very healthy, if somewhat supply short real estate market.
Yeah, so to spell that out, what's happening, Tim can tell you, I was away on the weekend, Tim wrote a few offers on the weekend. Everything's going to multiple offers. One property.
Yeah, I was in Riverbend with a client. We took a run at a property, just a average 1,000 square foot buy level in Riverbend, and there were 21 offers on it. We lost out, of course. The winning offer was 41,000 over list, unconditional.
Yeah.
So that's what people are prepared to do in today's market.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like unconditional, that Tuscany property we were just talking about. You know what? It sold for 640,000. It's listed for 599, and it was unconditional once again. And the seller, Tim, was saying, you know what? It's been a rental property for that long. And these people are willing to take it over and not worry about anything going wrong with it. So if you are thinking of selling, I could definitely tell you buyers are looking past, you know, certain things in the properties. I mean, this property had poly B piping that has been known to be, you know, cause problems sometimes, not all the time, but things like that, Tim, when the market is totally opposite, the buyers then have a choice to walk away and look for another property.
Yeah, and we said this before at the end of last year and beginning of this year. If you have a problem property and you want to sell it, now is the time to sell it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, the other factor is that everything that's coming on the market, it's being sold. So they're not lasting long. And so what does that mean for the buyers out there? It kind of means that you have to jump on it straight away. You don't have to go see the property straight away because we get texts. You know, normally there's a couple of days before offers are presented, but you have to get out there pretty quickly, see the property and make a decision. And some of our investors now are leaning towards going unconditional on certain properties as well, which we wouldn't normally advise, but we're there also to make sure that, you know what, here are the risks involved if you do that. And one of the risks, which we'll probably talk about with Danielle when she comes on, the biggest risk is that if the property doesn't appraise. And if it doesn't appraise, the difference between the purchase price and the appraised value, the buyer has to come up with those funds. And I think we'll dive into that a little later with Danielle. But you know what? Unconditional offers, and we don't see this changing. So many people are buying right now. So the demand is so high that we don't see, you know, I was at the lawyers today actually, and they were saying, well, are we going to get a spring market? And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how many properties will come on. The biggest problem there, Tim, is if people are selling to upgrade or downgrade, there's no inventory for them. So,
yeah, you can look at the third line down there, active listings. We're down 15% compared to February of last year. New listings were up 5.43%. That's a positive, but we really, really need those new listings to go up 10, 15, 20% over last year for us to have a really, really good balanced market. And we're not seeing that right now.
Yeah, so that's our
market. Well, no, the next slide is year to date. And those numbers, they take all of January as well into effect. January started off with a bang. So you can see the total sales are up over 25% so far this year, which is very, very healthy. The average price is up 14%. New listings are up almost 11%. So what we want to see is that new listing number to continue to go up and up and up so that we can get towards a more balanced market and help out our buyers here, because our buyers can't find any inventory. And as long as that inventory gets bought up all the time, it's going to stay in the same situation. So we want to see that number increase, and hopefully we will over the next month or two.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting desperate now. We've got our buyers not screaming at us, but wondering where's the listings or why aren't we sending properties to them? It's just how it is, and we're in the same boat. We're hoping that more properties come on the market sooner than later.